Rohan!
Thank you guys, welcome to the show. Do you ever wonder what if? I saw a couple of posts this week on TFUK and it's not new. People have been wondering what if in the Transformers lore and Transformers fandom for generations, and it's all to do with what if Hot Rod hadn't gotten in Prime's way? What if Megatron wasn't reformatted by Unicron? What if Galvatron wasn't the deranged mental case he was? What if some of those Beast Wars characters like Pterosaur and Scorponok hadn't died at the end of season 1? What if Hasbro actually gave us some good toys and actually didn't have QC issues? I jest. But one of the things that these what ifs started me thinking about was, well, what if we didn't have combiners?
Now unite!
What if Devastator and the Constructicons weren't the very first combiner that we got? And I've done a couple of episodes on combiners in the past. Menasor, my favourite. Bruticus, because I like the attack basis, aggressive combat modes of their alt modes. But the very first combiner we got was obviously none other than the Constructicons, and they are a lot of people's favourites. Here I have the Magic Square Set A, which has just come out. Scrapper and Mixmaster.
Constructicons transform! Phase 1!
Otherwise known as Shovel Master and Roller Master. But anywho, why do people love these characters so much? I mean, first and foremost, they had great voice actors in the series. Secondly, they had some great colour schemes and, I guess, construction vehicles. This was the first time we saw any real construction vehicles, with the exception of Hauler in Generation 1's cartoon or even in the toy line. We didn't have the other vehicles like the grapples and the hoists that came later in the series and obviously got entangled with these guys in terms of their characters and what they were doing. Later on, as the toys continued to come out, we got other construction type vehicles, even the likes of the auto rollers transforming by themselves. I got them upstairs somewhere, can't remember where. So on and so forth. And construction vehicles then became almost part and parcel of Transformers lore, and we saw them again in further series. RID had, thanks Mr. Ice Cream Man, again.
Devastator says, your end is near!
RID had obviously the combining Autobot team of construction vehicles, and then further into Transformers Animated, where we had the resurgence of the actual Constructicons as Decepticons, albeit not as a combiner and just as a couple of characters, but in their original colour scheme and their original kind of mentalities. And not only do we like the fact that the Constructicons are construction vehicles, they had cool voice actors, they had decent kind of characters, and some of them were all kind of different in some way, shape or form. Obviously, Scrapper was the scrappy kind of leader, always doing as Megatron asked and getting the job done. We had Mixmaster with his confumbled ideas and that sort of stammer in his wording as well, who was a great character. I really enjoyed Hook, the well-spoken British kind of sounding do-to-well kind of character. Long Haul, who was always complaining, is always a good favourite of mine. Brought some similarities with Coptor. Then you had Bone Crusher and Scavenger, and I think they got less airtime, if I'm honest with you, in the series, and as a result they didn't get as much definition in their characters, and even leading to the case that we had some animation errors and some voice acting errors as usual in Generation 1 with those characters. Anywho, I really like the fact that the Constructicons being the first combiner team in Transformers meant that they had 6 figures that combined together, and actually the original G1 toys were actually not too disparate in size to these Legends class figures these days in terms of robot size and in terms of combined size. And you know, it was a testament to the fact that they moved past that further on in the series by doing 5 bots that combined into one, because these were well engineered in the sense that they had to really eke out where all the bots would go and how they would combine together. And of course, who can forget their memorable part in the movie when they tried to make a play for leadership of the Decepticons. Not the first time, mind you. Triple Takeover, they had ambitions there as well. And although there was a lot of unsureness about how they came about with different ideas as to whether or not they were going to be reprogrammed by Megatron, or had actually been built by Megatron, or had actually just turned up in season 1, who knows. At least they gave the Dinobots a bit more backstory, hey. And then there's Devastator.
Devastator says, surrender or perish.
Now, he may not have been one of the smartest Decepticons as we've seen in the core and other episodes, but he had that brute force and he was imposing, and we saw great scenes with him in the movie where he's fighting the Dinobots, and obviously where he makes that play for the leadership as well. And yeah, I really enjoyed the Constructicons. What do you all think? Should we have a new incarnation of the Constructicons? I have myself of the Combiner Wars Titan class figure set. Obviously the Combiners are making a new play, coming back into the Legacy toy line, with the Stunticons being the first set. Are we going to see the Constructicons come back, and how would they do that? Because obviously it looks like with Menasor they're going to do the limbs as deluxes, and then the main body Motormaster leader as almost like a Commander class toy. So what are we going to see with these guys? Because obviously there's no real guys for a Commander class here. Are we going to get them all as a set, or 2 sets as Commander class toys? That would be cool. Let us know what you think. For another week, I've been Rohan on Rohan's Corner. Catch you next week.
Hey boys, we've been rumbled. Well, let's bounce.